Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlet Fu.
Quick check on the S&P 500, guys. Most names in the index to the downside. We've got 329 names losing ground on this Friday. 172, Scarlet, to the upside.
All right, let's take a look at our IMAP. 11 sectors in the S&P 500. 4 managed to finish higher. Unfortunately, they're all the smaller indexes, so that's why there's a lot of red on that screen. Infotech, communication services, and consumer discretionary. Those are the 3 sectors that the Mag 7 are distributed throughout, and they're down by at least 0.9%. Your better performing sectors, utilities. I heard Alix give them a shout out earlier. What does it say when utilities are the best performing sector on a day like today? A lot of movement to the defensive sectors.
No, I'm sorry. President Trump has signed executive orders on nuclear.
That too. 31 members of the S&P 500 utilities index are higher.
You can hear my snoring? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there was some fundamental news here. Okay, whatever.
There was fundamental news. I mean, I got to tell you, I was changing my gainers to the last minute. Just ask our producer Meredith, because I was like, wait, can I do this? Can I do this? All right, Constellation Energy. Speaking of stuff out of the White House, you did see nuclear power stocks, thank you guys, soaring. We did see President Trump signing that executive order. So there was expectation, speculation earlier in the day. So a name like Constellation Energy, one of your top performers in the NASDAQ 100.
That's the one you chose?
Seriously?
Sorry.
Okay. You don't know what? You want to know why? All right. It's up 2% in today's session. Listen to this. Our Bloomberg intelligence team, here's why I chose that one, noted that Constellation Energy is among the biggest beneficiaries of data center power demand and the Inflation Reduction Act, as it controls more than 20% of U.S. nuclear capacity. Over 85% of its annual generation is supported by nuclear production tax credits. That's why, Romaine.
Take that.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. So from nuclear to solar we go. First, solar, guys, up about 1.3% in today's session. Again, we saw them selling off yesterday. Concerns about the bill, the spending tax bill, would roll back clean energy initiatives and support. Well, some coming out today noting that maybe the House bill, some of those clean energy cuts may not actually fly. So, yeah, that going on. Jefferies also raised its price target in First Solar to 157 from 127. First Solar closing above at 158 and change, but again, up 1.3%. 2 quick ads I did late in the day. You had Informatica rising in a big way, up 17% by the close, up as much as 28%. That's after that headline crossed on the Bloomberg. Salesforce said to be in talks to buy Informatica, so that's out there.
Well, that's buy them again, though, right? Remember they tried to do this about a year ago, and then they kind of walked, I think it was Informatica maybe walked away, or I'm not quite sure what happened there. But kind of interesting to see that back on the table.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Good ad, Romaine, there. Nice. Thank you so much for that.
I love when you patronize me.
I love to patronize you. And then you'll say President Trump backing what's said to be a partnership, although we don't know exactly what this means, of U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel. And so you have U.S. Steel up about 21%. What?
No. President Trump might have different ideas when he says partnerships.
Can you stop interrupting Carol, please?
Oh. I value that. Come on.
Scarlett can interrupt me anytime. Just saying. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, okay. Let's look at shares of Apple. They fell today by 3%. It's actually down for an 8th day in a row. Fell as much as 4% earlier in the session, but managed to close off its lows. The president pressuring Apple to manufacture its iPhones in the U.S. It threatens a tariff of 25% if they don't comply. The supply chain for iPhones are concentrated in China. Moving production to the U.S. would be a very difficult thing to do. Our own Mark Gurman has reported on this extensively. My favorite anecdote that he shared via his reporting was that it would basically be like taking the entire city of Boston and having them stop what they're doing to manufacture iPhones, everybody in the city. That's what the scale is like in different parts of China where they manufacture these products. Down 3% on the day today. Booz Allen Hamilton really fell in today's session. Earlier fell as much as 19.4%, closed down 16.5%. That was the worst close going back to 2017, or worst single day, I should say, going back to 2017. At one point, fell the most ever on record. The company said it's going to cut about 7% of its close to 36,000 person workforce. This is wild. I didn't know this. They get almost all of their revenue from the U.S. government.
Yeah, I've been following this company for a long time. And it's just, I mean, that's fine. But it's like, why is it that some of the defense contractors and the other tech contractors are doing okay, but this company, which is right in the middle of that sweet spot, it's not like they're just, just selling random stuff. I mean, this is pretty high-tech stuff.
It is, but maybe the concentration of like those defense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know the answer to this, and I think it caught investors off guard as well, and that's why shares fell so much today. Finally, I do want to end with Salesforce. Carol talked about Informatica shares rising. As soon as we reported that news on the potential acquisition, we did see shares of Salesforce fall today. Fell at the end of the day by 3.6%.
All right, taking a look at the bond market. Today wasn't that interesting, but it's really over the week that we got some real action. So the long end flat on the day. We were selling off a little bit earlier when equities were also trading. We were buying a little bit. Yields were actually lower when equities were selling off, but we reversed that. But the week, quite interesting. 30-year at one point hit the highest since 2007 and breached the cycle high of 5.17%, but then fell back from that. You also saw the 530 curve, the steepest since 2021. So clearly the stressors are going to be felt in that back end.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.